Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel, Professor Zayed. Good to have you back here. From time to time, I make a video about an important topic in regards to technology, whether it's A plus or network plus or security or privacy. In today's video, I'll be making a small video, a small lecture about RAID, which is a very important topic that you need to understand when you are planning on taking the CompTIA A plus exam. And so RAID is basically stands for redundant array of independent disks. Some people call it inexpensive, but I kind of tend to disagree with that term inexpensive because sometimes it could be expensive. It depends on what type of RAID you're going to implement. So RAID is, just to clarify, it's not a backup solution, but it's a storage solution. So there are many types of RAID, such as mirroring, striping, not stripping. So a lot of people call it stripping, striping, mirroring, and then there's RAID like RAID 0, RAID 1, RAID 5. These are the common ones that you will be asked about. So there are many types of RAID. So again, remember the term RAID stands for redundant array of inexpensive or independent disks. It depends again who you're talking to. So again, as you know that the most important aspect or the most important or expensive part of your computer is not really like, if you ask someone, they might tell you like the hard drive, but it's actually the data on that hard drive. So if you don't have the backup solution is a little bit different. There is something called 3-2-1 backup, but I'll be making a separate video about that. But RAID, when it comes to RAID, is basically you can have RAID. RAID 1 is basically, as you can see on the screen here, you have two disks, right? You have disk 1 and disk 2, or disk 0 and disk 1. And then you have the files duplicated or mirrored on both drives. So if one drive fails, the second drive will contain the data. But again, it's not backup, because a lot of people confuse that term with backup because they think, well, if one hard drive fails, then I have the data on the second hard drive. Yeah, but if they both in the same location and you have a disaster, then you lose both disks at the same time. So a true backup is not really, it doesn't work as a true backup. So again, so we're talking about RAID 0 striping. So you have two disks, minimum of two disks. You have disk 1, disk 0, disk 1. You have a part of the data on this disk and then the other part on the second disk. So you're not really copying or mirroring the data on both disks. You just have part of the data on one disk and the other part on the other disk. So the file blocks here are split between the physical drives. Let's say you have two drives here, RAID 0. And but the good benefit behind that, a lot of people use RAID 0 because of performance, high performance. So it's speed, fast. Again, there's no redundancy for that. One drive fails, you lose all your data. And then the minimum requirement for the RAID 0 is two disks, two drives. RAID 1 again is mirroring. You have disk 0 and disk 1. And you have the file blocks are duplicated. So whatever on this drive, block 1, it will be on the same drive, on the second drive. The same data exists on the second drive. Block 2 is on the second drive, and so on and so forth. So you have high disk space utilization, meaning that if you have 10 gigs of data that you want to back up, you would need two drives. Each drive was a minimum of 10 gigs. So you will need two combined 20 gigs of space. So it's costly. It's more costly than, than others. So you have to have exact same size of hard disks, the same two disks the same size. It has a high redundancy because if one drive fails, you still have the data on the second drive. So it's kind of like a backup, but it's not true backup, as I said before, because the true backup is like having data on two disks, but also having data on the cloud as well. So in case those disks fail, then you have, backup copy somewhere else. And again, the minimum is two drives here. And then you can see the last part of the RAID is RAID 5, or not the ones that we're talking about. There is RAID 10 as well, but we're talking about RAID 0, RAID 1, RAID 5 right now. And here you can see you need a minimum of 3 drives. You can have more, but it is called striping with parity. So you have 5 blocks that are striped along with parity block. So this is the parity. So you have block 1A, block 1B, block 1C, and then you have parity D on the first drive or disk 0, first disk, and then you have parity C on disk 1, and parity B on disk 2, and then parity A on disk 3. So it's an efficient use of disk space. You can have data split between multiple drives. But if one drive fail, you can retrieve the data because that parity will help you retrieve that data from that drive. That's what the parity is all about. So again, RAID stands for redundant array of independent disks, and there are different kind of RAID. So you can actually set up RAID on your computer. You can have 2 drives. You can have multiple drives. You can set up the RAID. It depends on what you're looking for. So again, this is just a brief explanation of RAID, and check out my YouTube channel. I'll be posting more videos about this. And thank you for joining. Have a good day.